Alrighty, this is Skittles' last bottle. She's going strictly grass from here on out. Well, maybe a little grain. We got some of that left in there. So this is the last of her milk. She's a big girl now. She can eat grass. She'll be mostly grass like old Butch out there. So what a day. I don't have any video from today. Buddy Love was out this morning before we could get out of here to go cut firewood down at Mom's. Didn't break anything in his pen, just stretched the wire a little bit. Well, he broke some tabs off the step-in post, but broke two posts over in Deuce's pen. I think that was because Deuce was chasing him out. And so we had to put him in. Had to chase our two troublemakers out of the road. And then we finally got on the road, and then we had a good day. We got Mom about a brick of wood split up. Had some good help. Everything worked today, which is nice. But okay, that's it. It's all gone. So now I gotta go over here and see if I can get the tractor to start, so I can go pull some T-posts to replace the step-in posts that have been broken. It's the way it goes. So we're gonna cut this off here now and be back after a while. This is our chicken pen. We moved it last night. Didn't show any video of that, but moved it closer to the barking dogs, hoping that maybe that would deter some predators. If nothing else, maybe it would wake the barking dogs up and they would bark. And then that would deter. Where we had it before. Where we had this pen before, it was quite a ways away from the dogs, so in theory, a predator could get in there and get the chickens, and the dogs wouldn't know anything until the chickens started making a bunch of racket. And I managed to, I didn't manage, I did it on purpose. Put the fence around our compost pile, which is in our old garden spot. So we've been able to maintain 11 chickens altogether. So we didn't have any loss last night. We got one in the house that doesn't feel good. We're hoping we can get her nursed back to health. She can get back into laying rotation. Oh. Anyway, and then we got that one over there. I don't know if you can see it outside the fence over there. That's the truck chicken. She's the one that lays eggs in the truck. And I would say, looking at him, see his neck there. I'd say the walking boss had to go around with the predators. But guess he fought them off and they just pulled some feathers off of his neck. He may have got him with them spurs. I don't know if you can see them things, but they're big. He doesn't want to be on YouTube. Okay. I'm going to take a minute here. It's about 6 o'clock. But there's something that I heard today I found interesting. I was listening to the Pastured Pig podcast today. And it's always informative. Sorry about that. Laid my glasses down and the cat decided to walk on them. Go figure. But anyway, I was listening to, and Troy McClung, who does the Pastured Pig podcast, he also has a YouTube channel called Red Tool House. What does he call it? Red Tool House Homestead, I believe. I don't know. But you type Red Tool House into the YouTube search and he'll come up. And then there was Chuck Lewis from Sheridan Park Farms, and also has a YouTube channel, Sheridan Park Farms. And they both are big pig producers. Not real big. Chuck, I think I heard him say has processed and sells about 60 head of hogs a year. So anyway, the topic of their conversation was boar taint. There's a lot of conversation about that subject. You know, I grew up. My folks raised pigs, and I'm sure that I know for a fact my dad never castrated but one pig ever. And the only reason that I know that is because I think the neighbor up the road wanted one that was castrated. And my video's going kind of funky here. But anyway, and it was about 100-pound pig. Dad told him, well, I don't know how to do that. And so he said, well, I do. I'll come down and we'll do it. I was a teenager, 13, 12. I don't know, something like that. May have been a little older. I don't know. But anyway, Dad got one leg. I got the other leg. And we held him up. And the neighbor cut him. But that's the only pig I ever know of that was castrated on my dad's place. And I know that we've butchered boars. I know that we've butchered boars that have been used as boars, for reproduction. I never noticed a bad smell. I never noticed a bad taste. Now, I read something, I don't know, 6-8 months ago, maybe longer. I don't know. But my video's messing around here. So anyway, I read this article and it said that only 30% of people could taste boar taint. Well, okay, that makes sense to me. So, just from my own experience, I've gotten a hold of a few pieces of pork that smell a little off when they're cooked or taste a little off. But I kind of think that was some old meat, not necessarily an uncut boar. But I was listening to them, and then they said that what they had always heard, which you got to watch with these old tales that have been passed down, that they had heard that 50% of the people could taste it. So, I don't know. And then there's another guy that I kind of follow along when I get a chance to. He doesn't do a YouTube channel, but he's got a website, and I can't remember the name of it. But he has complete control of his operation, from farrowing all the way to selling the cuts of meat. He has his own USDA inspected processing facility. He only processes his own pork, never anyone else's. And he claims he hasn't cut a boar in over 20 years and does not have a problem with boar taint. Okay, so there's just a little background on the whole, I guess you call it a controversy of boar taint. Which, boar taint, the way it's been described to me, I always thought it was a bad taste. It just tastes bad. Other people said, no, it don't taste bad to me. It just smells bad, and I can't get past the smell of it. It's really bad. So, anyway, that gives you a little background in case you didn't know. And like I said, there was just some, let's say, opinions on it. And, I just started castrating my own pigs. We just had a big boar that processed out to 224 pounds of meat. And I can't taste it. I've had other people try it. Nobody has said anything to me. They all said it tastes great. It tastes good. So, now, like I said, I don't know what the deal is there. I don't know what causes it. There's conversation whether it's troublemaking pigs are out messing around. I don't know whether it's, and it's the same way with what Troy and Chuck were saying. They don't know whether it's breeding, whether it's feed, a combination. And I have a theory that a lot of people who think they taste excuse me, a lot of people who think they taste boar taint have gotten a hold of an old piece of meat. This is my opinion. Not everybody. I'm not saying that. Oh, excuse me. Sinuses are trying to drain on me. But now I'm going to yawn. Oh, that's great content, huh? Anyway, I'm not saying that everyone that claims they've tasted boar taint is wrong. Maybe they can. I don't know. I'm not sensitive to it, I guess. Because, like I said, I know that I've ate boar meat with no problem. And, we have one in the freezer that don't taste bad. So, with that background, one of the things that Troy and Chuck discussed in this podcast was some regulations that are going on over in Europe. That they don't castrate their pigs anymore. It's barbaric. It's not the thing to do. And it said because they do feel pain, which yeah, they feel pain. They feel that. But you can watch and see that a pig does not dwell on pain. Especially that I watch them piglets, and as soon as we get done with them and put them down, they're gone. They're back to normal, no problems. So they're not like a person who will sit and think about their pain and keep it going. That's going to get me a lot of trouble, I'm sure. But anyway, they just move on. They don't, after the initial pain, they move on from it. So, but one of the things they talked about was a vaccination that is given in Europe. It's used in like 60 different countries. And you give a boar this shot, you got to give them 2 shots. I believe they said one at 12 weeks before you process, and the other one 4 weeks before you process. And what it does is it does something so that whatever is supposed to cause boar taint doesn't happen. Listen to the podcast. I've got to finish listening to it, but I just, that kind of goes. That makes me concerned. Okay, most of us in the pastured pig arena, whatever you want to call it, there's a reason we're raising our pigs on pasture. It's so that we know what goes into the meat. Now, I've told you everything I know about this vaccine. And I don't, 4 weeks before I'm going to process my pig, I don't think I want to be injecting it with anything. Especially something that makes that pig sterile and his parts not function correctly. I mean, something don't seem right here. We know that the overuse of not steroids, but that's a different type, but the overuse of antibiotics is a problem, and that it builds up in your body, and the all the different viruses that it's supposed to protect you against build up a defense against it, and but just I'm thinking, okay, they're giving these pigs these shots that make them sterile, and then 4 weeks later they're processing. So after 4 weeks, whatever's in that meat is in that meat. Okay? Because there's no blood or anything, no internal organs filtering things out of the blood. So if it got into the meat, it's into the meat. So is it in the meat still? And if people are eating this, men and boys, if they're eating this, could it build up in their systems to the point that causes them to be sterile? Food for thought. This video's already went longer, and so I'm just going to leave you with that. Think about that, especially if you're going to Europe to eat any pork. And also think that Europe is where the mad cow came from. Somebody thought it was a good idea to feed cows. Just saying. Take that how you want. Do with it what you want. I'm not saying that's the way it is. I'm asking, is it? So, think about that. Because as much as our ancestors wanted to get away from Europe, and this is one I find funny, as much as there are people in this country that complain about the European settlers that came over here and how bad they were towards the Indians, but yet we want to go do what Europe's doing. Again, think about it. So, anyway, I'll probably do more on this once I finish the podcast. But if you want to check it out, it's Pastured Pig Podcast. And it's the title of the podcast The specific one is something discussing boar taint, something like that. But it's got boar taint in the title. Go check it out if you're interested. If not, don't. It's up to you. So I'm gonna wind this video up. It's gonna be a little shorter than usual, just because I didn't record much today. So sorry, but let's all look out for each other. Let's help each other when we can, and let's all pray